Okay, today we are doing the Tides lab. If you look in the folder on Schoology called Labs, in there you will find a lab called Tides Lab. In there you will find a link that brings you to this website which gives us fresh data. They warn you that it's not perfect. The data is provided without any warranty, but basically this is pretty darn close to real-time accurate data. So we're going to go back. You can choose on this website a harbor. I have chosen a particular harbor. It was the top choice called East Coast, and then within that, this harbor was called East Quoddy Head, New Brunswick. And here's all the data. You're going to want to take a picture of that for this lab. Don't take the picture of this one because you're going to pick a harbor, and you can't pick this one because I've already told you everything about this one. You're going to pick your own harbor. But you want to choose wisely because not all harbors are created equal. When you just look at this, it tells you the highs, it tells you the low tides, but I strongly recommend choosing graphic plot here instead of tabular list. Go to graphic plot and then see what your harbor looks like. This one's really consistent, okay, because I got high tides and low tides that are really close to each other. Now, your job is to pick two highs and two low tides. Instead of having you make two separate sine functions for them and see how close they are to each other, that would be an option. What do you think we could do to simplify this down? Yes, sir. Just average them. So you average the highs, you average the lows, and now I've got a high and a low tide. And if you have a high and a low point, can't you make an equation for that? Yeah, just got a test on that. Same exact concept. One thing we do need is the time in between them. This is a little bit unusual, but with 4 spots, how many things are there in between them? Well, from this to this is 1 time period. There's another time period. There's another time period. There isn't 4 time periods, but there's 3. Do you think that they're all exactly the same? No, but they're really close, and so what could I do to get good data? Just average them. Okay, so now I got a time. Is it the full period? No, it's not, because this is actually a period and a half, you might say. If you're going to average this down to only 1 time period, then that 1 time period is a half of its period, so you need to double it. So it's a lot like the problems that we did, it's just getting real world data. All right, so now I'm going to clear the ink off the screen. I'm going to go to a different one and just show you how different these can be depending on the coasts. If you want to go with me, go back and don't choose East Coast, choose West Coast. West Coast, north to south. See the one that's kind of purple color, 4th one down there? West Coast, north to south. And then if you choose Drayton Harbor, it's an interesting one. From here, I can't tell that anything's strange. But when I go down and I hit graphic plot and make prediction using options, look at those tides. You see how they are not consistent at all? Your high tides, some of them are way higher than others. And your low tides are lower than others. So do you get how if I try to average these out, it's going to have really strange kind of results if I do? So I recommend that you look ahead and make sure you're not picking a harbor that's got really strange kind of numbers. Now, why, you might ask? Isn't the water just, if you've got your sun here, our sun wouldn't have to be yellow. If it was a red giant, it'd be red. Anyway, and you got your Earth here. I'll make it blue because we do have a lot of water on the Earth. Do you get that the water is being pulled towards the sun, true or false? Well, the water is being pulled towards the sun a little bit, but what causes our tides? It's not the sun, it's the moon. All right, so if I have my moon out here, and my moon is pulling the water towards it, I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but there's another tide that's happening on the other side of the world that's where it's away from it. The way I understand it, it has to do with something about centripetal force and like spinning. I am not a scientist. I can't tell you exactly why that happens, but I can tell you it's low tide here when it's high tide here, and then it's low tide here, and it's high tide here. And so do you get how, through the course of a 24-hour period of time, you're going to end up with 2 high tides and 2 low tides? Does that make sense? All right. And that's ballpark now. But I'd like you to pick a harbor that's going to give you good data that when I say good, it means when you look at the graphic, and by the way, when you've chosen your harbor, you're going to need to take a picture of the graphic of it, and you're going to need to take a picture of the actual data screen so I can know exactly where did you get your data and what did it look like to make sure you didn't pick one of these squirrely ones that is going to not give you very good results. Again, you can do this. Apparently, you can do it with using multiple sign functions to see how the two signs kind of like add to each other and subtract from each other. Anyway, we're not going to get that deep into it. So let's say that you went and picked off. I do recommend the East Coast. I think it's a little bit easier because it's easier to find like normal ones. Let's say you go to Fairhaven. Well, there's my data, and I could take a screenshot of that. But first, I want to make sure it actually works. I go to graphic plot, make prediction. Yeah, that looks pretty consistent. Now, it's one of the things you should learn, being we're not from a tidal area, is that not all the tides are the same. There are higher high tides than others. So, yeah, they can be off a bit. Let's say you pick these four, and you're off and running. Eventually, you get it down to, okay, I got this point, and I got a time in between them. And you get this just like what we have learned how to do. You can write the sinusoidal for that. I always recommend cosine. All right. So when it comes to the shift, I am going to make your life easier and let you say that your y-axis can be anywhere. So where might you want to choose the y-axis to be? Like right at a peak there. I missed it pretty badly, but anyway. Get the idea, so we don't have to worry about exactly where to shift it to. All right, so I think that's the basics. Now let me give you the categories for the Tides lab. These are the categories for all labs. You're going to need a purpose, and you cannot just copy my words here, but basically we're just trying to write an equation that'll model tides. Next is we got to have a graph, and I told you could take a picture. The computer can do the graph for you. That's okay. You can use the graphic off the online. And also, I am telling you this, and I hope you remember it, you have to have a picture of your data. So that's both a chart and a graph. That will qualify for this. Next up is your procedure, where you're going to explain how, act like I'm a 4-year-old. Well, they wouldn't understand it anyway. Act like I was 2 years younger than you, and you're explaining how, in your procedures, you were able to write this equation. And then your calculation section is where you actually show me the grinding out the equation, how'd you get your B term, and how'd you get your A term, and all that stuff. And then at the end, you want your conclusion and reflections. I always want 3 reflections. All right, so there's a brief summary of the Tides lab, and you are going to have time right now to work on the Tides lab. We are not supposed to assign stuff over break, so I am not. You can finish this in class, honestly. You could finish it today in class. If you choose to, like, I don't want to rush that much. I want to take my time picking a good harbor, and I want to chat with my friend while we're working together. That's fine. Now, I'm not making it to do the day after break because I feel like a little bit that's like cheating. You can't say like you were, supposed to. You didn't have to work on it over break. You could wait till the day after break. I'm giving you until Friday of the week when you come back. That gives you several days that week too, if you want. But I think you are the smartest right now. You've just done it recently. It'll probably be best if you just get her done. All right. So you have a bunch of time to work right now on the Tides lab. That's all I'm doing for this particular day. Okay.